Atlanta, Los Angeles, and even Memphis saw millions of people take part in No Kings protest today. Downtown Memphis packed right now to protest the Trump administration and what they call tyranny in America. Action News 5's Garner Montgomery joins us live from the Bluff City protest on Beale Street. So Garner, what's the turnout like there behind you?
So we've seen thousands of demonstrators out here. This is the third No Kings protest in the past year, and I believe that this is the biggest one that Memphis has seen. Let's pan around, because it looks like we caught the end of this march down Beale Street. This started at Robert R. Church Park, and this crowd seemingly has really revved up the Beale Street ongoers out here. Thousands of demonstrators protesting what they say are threats to democracy, freedom, and peace in our country. Speaking at today's event were a host of local elected officials, volunteers with groups like Free the 901, Vecindarios 901, and local progressive political parties. Some of the issues addressed today impacting Memphians, including the detainment of immigrants by ICE agents, rising gas prices and cost of living following the war in Iran, and growing wealth inequality. I talked with one volunteer with Indivisible Memphis who told me about the huge turnout that they were anticipating and preparing for today.
There's some narrative that the only people who would come out here are paid protesters, which is I just find fantastic. Every single person you see here is a volunteer, down from the safety marshals to the legal observers to us to the people who are speaking today. Every single person is here to volunteer, and the safety team in particular, they've been training for this for weeks.
One other thing on everyone's minds today is the upcoming elections, both on the local, midterm level. Voter registration booth was set up today with the goal of increasing voter turnout, both in Shelby County and across the nationwide. Again, live out in Beale Street, catching the tail end of this protest march. We've also heard that there will be picketers protesting specific businesses in downtown Memphis that have invited Memphis Safe Task Force members. Ahead at 6, I'll be talking about the specific issues that Memphians here are protesting, and what one local elected official who's been the target of the Trump administration has had to say while out here tonight. Give you a closing live shot out in Beale Street, reporting live in downtown Memphis. Garner Montgomery, Action News 5.
All right, Garner, thank you. And along with Memphis, Mid-Southerners also came together in Olive Branch at the City Hall there to protest President Trump and his administration. This was put on by Indivisible DeSoto. Protesters claim the country is drifting into authoritarianism under the president. This was the third mass protest against the president and his administration, as you just heard, since his return to the White House last year. One speaker said by uniting their voices, they can overcome the problems they see in this country.
We are the power. We've been up against it before, and we have overcome. Together. Take hope, my friends. We can win. We can overcome. We can be what America has said it wants to be.
The White House denounced the protest, saying, quote, "The only people who care about these Trump derangement therapy sessions are the reporters who are paid to cover them," end quote.